Yes, 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 yes! Don't want to waste any more time here. We have news on the Kelly Green jerseys. We have news on the restructure. We have some Jalen Carter news as well, and a couple other things I definitely want to go over. So let's not waste any time, and let's get straight into it all.
Because I've seen enough horror movies to know any weirdo wearing a mask is never friendly.
Yo, what is going on, guys? Hope everyone's having a fantastic day today. Hope everyone's enjoying their work week and is about to enjoy their weekend because we have a lot to look forward to here. And the first thing I want to talk about is the Kelly Green jerseys, the uniforms. They were teased to us yesterday. The video came out on their Twitter and all around probably all their social medias of this the side sleeve of the jersey with the 87 logo on it, which, you know, I'm so happy. And you know what? I'm actually really even more happy that they're keeping this jersey very original. I thought they were going to modernize it. Even though we just see the sleeve, I can already kind of see that this is going to look very old school, and I absolutely love it. Now, to the Eagles fans, like especially not my family, because my family either doesn't watch football or they just don't watch the Philadelphia Eagles in general, I feel really good for the families out there or your family that you have a few generations of Eagles fans living in your house, whether it's your father, grandfather, guys that are going to, fans that are going to get emotional over this when these release. Now, July 31st is the day they're going to release. Does it mean that they're going to be on sale that day? Are they going to be on the NFL shop? I have no idea. But my wallet is wide open and ready to take it all. My wallet is about to take a beating of a lifetime when these roll out, and I'm very excited to see what this whole thing looks like. I don't know if they're going to release white Kelly Greens or anything like that. I mean, there were some people asking about that as well. If there's going to be an alternate to the Kelly Green or an away to the Kelly Green, maybe they'll wear it twice this year. Two different jerseys, two different uniforms, maybe. I don't know, but we'll see when the time comes. As I don't even really care about that as long as these Kelly Greens are coming out, because to be honest with you guys, the one jersey I really don't like the most is really those the white away jerseys. I really can't stand. Probably the jersey I just can't stand the most. I feel like there is going to be a revamp with this Philadelphia Eagles uniform, the midnight greens in general, with the word art that is not on that is not on those jerseys at all. But the Kelly Greens is what we've been waiting for, and hopefully they will go on sale. I'm hoping August 1st at a certain time. That site is going to crash like crazy. So if you're going to get an Eagles jersey at a certain time, you better be on multiple laptops, you better be on multiple cell phones and getting ready to order, because these things are going to go like hotcakes. No joke. So glad they were playing they were playing like Randall Cunningham footage through the jersey with Merrill Reese, being excited about a play. And this video is just so touching and so just well done. I absolutely loved it so much. So who's excited for Kelly Greens? Because I am. So very excited for that. So that's the first bit of news we really had to go over. Now, secondly, Derek Barnett. It looks like Derek Barnett has took a pay cut. The Eagles have restructured Derek Barnett's contract, which is really interesting. Now, Derek Barnett was actually due $7.5 million salary this year, 1.5 guaranteed. After the restructure, now he was only due $3.5 million guaranteed, with a potential $2.25 million in incentives. So he can make an extra $2.5 million if he hits certain accolades to the season, whether it's sacks, Pro Bowl, stuff like that. And I don't know if this is pointing towards a move for the Philadelphia Eagles, or maybe they just tried to save money in general. But I think this is more of like a prove-it thing for Derek Barnett. Maybe the Eagles want to re-sign him after this year, and I'm not really a big fan of that. But if he plays more than expected, then I think he's going to play. It's great, but I'm only expecting him to be on this team for 1 year. I think this was the worst move the Eagles made last year, to sign him to a 2-year deal. But to be honest with you, I'm not going to go crazy about it. At the time, I didn't like it, and I still don't really like it, because this guy is on an injury still right now. Maybe they lowered his money to maybe to say, hey, look, we want you to prove yourself, and, we want you to see what you could do on the field this year. Imagine him making a salary of $7.5 million and really hasn't done much since his rookie year, and maybe the year after. Maybe. Okay, he hasn't been able to stay on his own two legs, and hopefully he can with this. So I don't think the Eagles save much money out of this thing. I don't think it means they're going to make another move for somebody or something like that. The restructure, I think, is just maybe it gives Derek Barnett more motivation to make more money and to have, this is a contract year for Derek Barnett, and I don't expect the Eagles to re-sign him, but we'll see what happens. So instead of making 7.5, he's making 3.5, $2.5 million in incentives that he could make, a maximum of $6 million that he could make this year if he hits those accolades as well, like I said. So, pay cut for Derek Barnett. So the Eagles are always working the cap, always working stuff. So the Eagles didn't really save too much, so I wouldn't say it's a big deal, but the Eagles are still cap-wise, I think they're still over $13 million in cap space as of right now. So feel like there is going to be a move sooner or later, not because of this, but in general, there is something, I'm feeling that something's going to happen sooner or later. I mean, whether it's the first, second, third week of training camp when we get in full pads, we have signed players a few weeks before the season. It has happened a million times. The Eagles have made trades. The Eagles have signed free agents before the season started, very close at times. So that is the restructure of Derek Barnett. And then there was some news on Jalen Carter from Sports Illustrated that somebody inside the Eagles organization says that, that someone already seen enough of Jalen Carter to think, that's it. He's the steal of the draft. Obviously, in my opinion, for his position, he was the number one player. Of the overall draft, he was the second best player in this draft. There's no doubt about it. With only one training camp under his belt, at least for the media to see what we were seeing with him behind the scenes. And this is, he's not in full pads. This team is not in full pads yet. And he was wrecking. He was getting through the line. He was getting through the Eagles' first offensive line, and he was being very violent. He was very quick, very explosive. He really turned heads a lot, which the Eagles did expect. But if they think he's the real deal in the steal of the draft, we got to pump the brakes a little bit. For everything, like I said, we've only been through one practice. At the time I made this video, we've only been through one training camp so far. Okay. And we need to see what else he could do. And for me, what I think is going to happen, I feel like Carter is going to start next to Jordan Davis this year. I think Jalen Carter is going to be an immediate impact, immediately. Okay, I feel like it's not going to be Fletch and Jordan Davis. It is going to be Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis next to each other. Obviously, for Nolan Smith, I feel like he'll be in the second rotation behind Reddick and Brandon Graham. But when it comes to Jalen Carter, I think he's going to be immediate. I think he's going to he's already turning heads already, and I think it's just wait till they get full pads on. I think he's just going to be better. And I think, he can reach 8 to 10 sacks this season. No joke. I think he has a big chance to do that. And if he doesn't, it's not a big deal because I really put more into first-round picks going into their second year, just like Jordan Davis really needs a big year. But somebody inside the Eagles organization is already high on him as it is right now and already saying, yep, he's going to do some damage. And you already know where he's going to be on the depth chart, right next to Jordan Davis, where he belongs. And that's where I'm hoping he, ends up. And if he doesn't, it's not a big deal. The rotation is a rotation. We switch players out, every 4 to 5 plays. But to have him play next to Jordan Davis, get that extra motivation to play next to one of his biggest mentors in Georgia, man, it's gonna be such a dream for him. So exciting for him. And then lastly, actually not lastly, we have more news. So the Budda Baker stuff is probably over with right now, as much as he's been liking everything on Eagles social media and every player that puts out something that, kind of showing that he wants to play here. But, I know, Joe, I told you so. I'm going to hear that a million times. And I understand that, but it's easy to get excited about things like this. So it looks like the Cardinals did pay Budda Baker. They gave him a little bit of a raise of like $2.5 million plus incentives of guaranteed money and incentives as well. So they gave him a little bit of a raise. And so it looks like if he's getting a raise and he, obviously said yes to all of that, then it looks like a trade is not going to happen for Budda Baker. Yes, I told you so, Joe. Yes. I get it. Trust me. So the Budda Baker dream is over with. I know some Eagle fans really wanted him. Me, I don't really care. I'd rather get a linebacker or a defensive end regardless, because I feel like there's a lot of competition at safety, a lot of bodies at that position right now, and so some promised bodies there right now, and seeing what Sidney Brown could do, and Terrell Edmonds, and Reed Blankenship going to a full, off season with the Eagles as a, projected starter. So, we'll see what happens. So there's plenty of time for competition to see where the safety position ends up. Now, when Nick Sirianni got to the Philadelphia Eagles, I wasn't a big fan of him not having minicamp. Okay, that was the one thing that I hated because I felt like this team needed so much more work. And now after even last year, I like that the Eagles have a lot more time off because the Eagles are one of 3 teams that don't have minicamp. And even getting into training camp now, these guys are more refreshed. Before training camp, when you have minicamp, you don't need these guys working at 100%. Look what's happening around the league with some of these players. I mean, just getting injured. I mean, Jalen Ramsey needs knee surgery, out like multiple weeks, 4 to 8 weeks, whatever it is, 6 to 8 weeks. I mean, you got Joe Burrow that had a calf strain that looked like an Achilles, thank God, because that would have been horrible. You had the Cowboys safety get hurt, and missed a lot of time. No season-ending injuries. I think there's one season-ending injury out there. I forgot who. I think it was Hines. He ended up getting hurt for the whole entire year. You know what I mean? So guys are getting hurt around the league, man. I mean, the one thing you want to do is come out of training camp healthy and getting to the season healthy. I think the only issue we had last year was really, I think Kelsey ended up getting the orthoscopic surgery in his elbow. I think that was really the only thing that was really that bad. But he was going to be around, that was a minor surgery. That was because of an injury, just cleaning his elbow out, so that's normal to get. But around the league, everybody's just, it's because when you have that mini camp and then you get into training camp, you're doing double the work. The Eagles aren't doing double the work having mini camp and training camp. Let these guys have a month and a half off and then get into training camp. Let these guys prepare on their own before training camp, get into shape before training camp, and get into this thing because these injuries are just, it's too early to be going 100% with no pads on. It's just way too early to do that. And, it's a waste. I mean, for me, and I actually like it a lot more now. At the beginning, when Nick got here as a head coach, I hated it. I felt like the Eagles need to get pushed and pushed and pushed every single day, but that's not how it goes, man. I'm glad that, Nick is more, he's a little more passive when it comes to, the mini camp stuff and not needing to put these guys in and have them on a schedule and go 100% this early in the offseason because bad things could happen like this, and that's just what it is sometimes. So just kind of wanted to discuss that because I thought that was pretty important. But other than that, guys, that's pretty much it. We talked about, obviously, the Kelly Green jerseys coming out July 31st. So excited for it. We talked about Derek Barnett's restructure. We talked about Jalen Carter, somebody on the inside of the Eagles, thinks that he's a steal of the draft already and what he's shown at training camp so far, that he's going to be a beast. And I have a feeling he's going to be. I have a feeling he's going to be an immediate impact. Okay, until we can say he's a steal of the draft, we got to see how he does the whole entire year. But I feel like he will start next to Jordan Davis. He will get that starting defensive tackle job and play next to his mentor from Georgia. And I think there's, like I said, there's excitement with that. There's a motivation. Just how does it not get you amped up to play next to a guy you played next to in college? I mean, in college, you know what I mean? Like, that's got to be one of the most exciting things, especially, Nolan Smith being in the lineup. It must be so exciting for these guys and should be so much fun. So, I mean, we talked about Budda Baker. We talked about, obviously, the injuries around the league so far, what's going on with that. So, other than that, that's pretty much it. You guys have a fantastic day. We'll be ready for the next day of training camp. And if you last this on this video, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you like the video as well. It does help out the channel out a lot. We will be having a live stream very soon. We might have a live stream tomorrow night. I'm not sure. But I want to, get some streams in and talk to you guys about and hear your input on training camp so far. I wanted to get through a couple training camps before I started live streaming a little bit on, obviously what you guys have thought, going into training camp and all that great stuff. So you guys enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you guys on the next one. SHAKESQUAD up, follow side. Peace out, guys. Peace.